time is 1:15. Here's the news, edited by Catherine Pereira, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. A special security plan will be implemented in all Catholic churches. The largest water research institute in South Asia was handed over to the Peradeniya University today. The Asian Development Bank grants $100 million technical assistance to boost SMEs. A systematic education plan should be implemented within a country in order to develop the country. 12 more underworld gang members arrested. Foreign news: Israel cancels Washington meeting after UN Gaza ceasefire vote. Local news in detail. A special security plan will be implemented in all Catholic churches in line with the Good Friday and Easter Sunday that falls on Sunday. Necessary preparation should be implemented by the Community Police Committee and the relevant heads of the churches. IGP Deshabandhu Tennakon has informed to all the police stations in this regard. The largest water research institute in South Asia, which was constructed under the investment of Government of China, was handed over to the Peradeniya University today. 4 billion rupees has been spent by the Chinese government. Director of the institute, Dr. Sachitra Veragola, said that the support of Chinese Scientist Academy is being provided continuously to the research activities of this institute. The Asian Development Bank will finance $100 million and technical assistance to boost Sri Lankan small and medium-sized entrepreneurs, rather enterprises. The Finance Ministry, Economic Stabilization and National Policies announced. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news, Presidential Senior Advisor Sagala Ratnayaka says that a systematic education should be implemented within a country in order to march forward for the development path. Although economic reforms are implemented, human resources should be managed relevant to the reforms. He made these remarks at a ceremony held at the Kottapulla Ilukpitiya Junior School. A new program is needed for economic change. He said that the President is being carried out many reforms in this regard. A proper economic program is being implemented to develop every province in the country. 12 more suspects, criminals of underworld gangs, have been arrested yesterday during the special operation launched to crack down on organized criminal activities. Police said in addition to the 12 criminals, 6 more suspects have been arrested during the raid. In response to a concerning increase in organized criminal activities in the western and southern provinces, a special operation targeting 20 identified organized criminal gangs in the country was launched under the Yuktiya initiative last Tuesday. Accordingly, a total of 63 underworld gang members have been arrested so far, and they are being questioned under detention orders. Veteran Sri Lankan singer Chandrakumara Kandanarajje passed away this morning. He was aged 76 at the time of his demise. According to reports, Kandanarajje has received medical treatment at the Apeksha Hospital in Maragama for a while. That ends local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
IMF Senior Mission Chief Peter Brewer says tax is needed to fund essential services that government is providing. Asserts if everybody wants to continue enjoying common goods, then all have to make commensurate contributions. Points out current hardships are due to government running out of money and not having a strong economic income source. Sri Lanka, coming out of the economic crisis, has significantly taxed businesses and individuals alike. And according to the International Monetary Fund, this burden is here to stay, at least for now. That came to you on Main News Story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB New Year offer. Valuable gifts and gift vouchers. 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
The railway departments have decided to revise several train timetables on the Putlam line as well as on the main and northern railway lines as per 2-week test run schedule starting today. Several train timetables have been revised with the objective of preparing the most suitable schedule for the passengers on these routes. This is being implemented with the aim of revising the train schedules on the Kalani Valley Railway line as well as the coastal line. The time revision was undertaken after obtaining the comments, suggestions as well as the complaints from the commuters to provide a more appropriate schedule. That came to you on Watchlight.
CIB New Year offer. Valuable gifts and gift vouchers. 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines first. Israel cancels Washington meeting after UN Gaza ceasefire vote. Japan to sell fighter jets in latest break from post-war pacifist ideas. Russian state media blames Ukraine and the West. World news in detail. Israel has cancelled meetings in Washington after the U.S. declined to veto a UN Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. The resolution, which also called for the release of all hostages, followed several failed attempts at similar measures since the 7th October attacks. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accused the U.S. of having abandoned its previous policy. The spat comes amid calls for urgent action to avert a famine in Gaza. Since the start of the conflict, the U.S. has used its veto power to block 3 Security Council resolutions calling for the forces in the fighting or a ceasefire. Another 2 have been vetoed by both Russia and China. Japan's cabinet has approved the export of new fighter jets it is developing with the UK and Italy in the latest move away from its specific policies. It eased arms export rules to allow the jets to be sold to countries but Japan has signed before pacts with and where there is no ongoing conflict. Japan has pledged to double military spending by 2027, citing threats posed by China and North Korea. Each fighter jet sale will require cabinet approval, authorities said. Russian state media is firmly blaming Ukraine and West for the deadly attack on the Caucasus Hole, echoing similar narratives by the Kremlin while ignoring Ukraine's denial of any involvement. Those commentators who are on independent minds are skeptical of such claims, however, arguing that state security has been distracted by the war in Ukraine and dropped the ball in preventing this attack at home. The most startling effort at disinformation by Russian state media is perhaps NTV's broadcast of the video with seemingly AI-generated audio of Ukraine's top security official Alexei Danilov. The clip aired on Russia's 3rd most popular channel just hours after the attack. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Israel cancels Washington meeting after UN Gaza ceasefire vote. Japan to sell fighter jets in latest break from post-war pacifist ideas. Russian state media blames Ukraine and the West. That ends World News.
Development News.
2K variety of jumbo peanut manufacturing company will be opened in Kilinochchi. This variety has been organized by the Department of Agriculture. A processing center will be implemented under the Agricultural Development Project. Measures will be taken to cultivate all types of peanut locally. That came to you on Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
A sport event of the children who needs special attention is being held at the playground in Torrington. This sports event is being organized by the Social Services Department and the district associated divisions. Various sports competitions are being conducted among these children.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Monetary Policy Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, at its meeting held yesterday, decided to reduce the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate of the Central Bank by 50 basis points to 8.50% and 9.50% respectively. The board arrived at this decision following a comprehensive assessment of the current and expected domestic and international economic developments to maintain inflation at the targeted level of 5% over the medium term, while enabling the economy to reach its potential. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news. Ozone Mineral Water Exports Limited recently exported 40 high-cube HQ containers of 60 milliliter drinking water bottles to Sydney, Australia, becoming the first ever Sri Lankan company to do so. The company has been awarded an order to supply 1,600,000 milliliter water bottles to Sydney, Australia, and the recent import marked the initial phase of it. The company started exporting water bottles to other parts of the world 30 years ago and has commenced exports to Australia with the aim of expanding the business. That ends economic news.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers will occur in eastern and Ur provinces and in the Polonnaruwa district. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in western, Sadragamu, southern and central provinces during the afternoon or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeter are likely at some places in southern province and in Ampara and Mondragora districts. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in central, Sadragamu and Ur provinces and in Kalthara, Gol and Mathura districts during the morning. That ends weather report. To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. A special security plan will be implemented in all Catholic churches. The largest water research institute in South Asia was handed over to the Peradeniya University today. The Asian Development Bank grants $100 million technical assistance to boost SMEs. A systematic education plan should be implemented within a country in order to develop the country. 12 more underworld gang members arrested. Foreign news: Israel cancels Washington meeting after UN Gaza ceasefire vote. With that, we wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka. The time is exactly 30 minutes down 1 o'clock.